2.6 million Airtel users' data has been reportedly breached, as covered and reported by Economic Times, Telangana Today, Inc. 42 Media, and many more. However, Airtel denies claims that data of 2.6 million users was leaked. I'm also not sure if this is true or not, but for me, this is a topic of awareness, and I'm making this video just to make you aware of how such attacks happen and how you can prevent or mitigate these after its occurrence. I'm not willing to defame any organization or pinpoint any individual. My area of interest is just to pick up a use case and spread awareness in our security community as much as I can. My name is Vinay, and I'm holding more than a decade of experience in information security. So let's take a deep dive into it. In this use case, first, we should focus on who is impacted because of this hack as per the reports and motive behind it. Well, based on the information that I can gather is that users from Jammu and Kashmir in India are impacted whose personal data, including Aadhaar card details, have been hacked and uploaded by a hacker group on their website to the sale for Bitcoin worth $3,500. In fact, as reported in an article by Economic Times, they were able to review the data and also verify a sample of the phone numbers which were found to be active subscribers of the telecom operator. So let's understand how this all may have happened. So a hacker group reportedly uploaded a web shell on Airtel's India server and copied personal details of Airtel users of a particular location in India. Before proceeding further, let's understand what is a web shell. So a web shell is a malicious web-based shell-like interface that enables remote access and control to a web server by allowing the execution of random commands. A web shell can be uploaded to a web server to allow remote access to the web server, such as the web server's file system. A web shell is unique in that it enables users to access a web server by way of a web browser that acts like a command line interface. Let's understand it using a typical attack scenario that is currently displayed on your screen. A common method of execution for this attack leverages vulnerabilities in a website, for example, SQL injection, remote file inclusion, to remotely generate or install a file that will act as a web shell. Once the web shell is successfully installed, the remote attackers may then craft an HTTP post request directly to the web shell with embedded commands that will be executed as if the attackers had local shell access to the web server. Now you must be thinking how hackers managed to enter Airtel's server to plant the web shell. Using network monitoring tools such as Wireshark, an attacker can find vulnerabilities that are exploited, resulting in a web shell installation. These vulnerabilities may be present in content management system applications or the web server software. Web shells are installed through vulnerabilities in web application or weak server security configurations, including such as SQL injection, vulnerabilities in applications and services, for example, web server software such as Nginx or content management system applications such as WordPress, file processing and uploading vulnerabilities, which can be mitigated by, for example, limiting the file types that can be uploaded, remote file inclusions RFI and local file inclusions LFI vulnerabilities, remote code execution, exposed administration interfaces. An attacker may also modify a spoof the content type header to be sent by the attacker in a file upload to bypass improper file validation using MIME type sent by the client, which will result in a successful upload of the attacker's shell. An attacker can use a web shell to issue command, perform a privilege escalation on the web server, and the ability to upload, delete, download, and execute files on the web server. And this is what they did: downloaded customers' data. We have now understood what is web shell, how it can be planted, and what can be done with it. Now let's understand how to prevent and mitigate it. As I just told you that a web shell is usually installed by taking advantage of vulnerabilities present in the web server software. That is why the removal of these vulnerabilities is important to avoid the potential risk of a compromised web server. Few of the security measures that you should be focusing on for preventing the installation of a web shell, such as regularly update the applications and the host server's operating system to ensure immunity from known bugs. Deploying a demilitarized zone DMZ between the web facing servers and the internal networks. Secure configuration of the web server. Closing or blocking ports and services which are not in use. Using user input validation to limit local and remote file inclusion vulnerabilities. Use a reverse proxy service to restrict the administrative URLs to non-legitimate ones. Frequent vulnerabilities scan to detect areas of risk and conduct regular scans using web security software. This does not prevent zero-day attacks, of course. Deploy a firewall, disable directory browsing, and lastly, stop using default passwords. What if you are failed or missed to prevent a web shell attack? Then you would remember me talking about ways to detect it. So let me tell you how you can actually detect a web shell if you have got one in your infrastructure. Web shells can be easily modified, so it's not easy to detect web shells, and antivirus software are often not able to detect web shells. However, there are some common indicators that a web shell is present on a web server, such as abnormal high web server uses due to heavy downloading and uploading by the attacker, files with an abnormal time stamp, for example, newer than the last modification date, unknown files in a web server, files having WS references, for example, cmd.exe or eval, unknown connections in the logs of a web server, for example, a file generating suspicious traffic, for example, .png file requesting with post parameters, WS logins from DMZ servers to internal subnets, and vice versa. Web shells may also contain a login form, which is often disguised as an error page. Using web shells, adversaries can modify the .htaccess file on web servers to redirect search engine requests to the web page with malware or spam. Yes, this can be possible. Often web shell detect the user agents, and the content presented to the search engine spider is different from that presented to the user's browser. To find a web shell, a user agent change of the crawler bot is usually required. Once the web shell is identified, it can be deleted easily. Analyzing the web server's log could specify the exact location of the web shell. Legitimate users or visitors usually have different user agents and referrers. On the other hand, a web shell is usually only visited by the attacker, right? Therefore, have very few variants of user agent strings. Thank you everyone for spending your time on this video. If you have got any query or concern, then always remember the fastest way to reach out is the comment box. Pick up your keyboard and start typing in the comment box. I will get back to you at my earliest. Alternatively, you can drop me an email at cybercyber@gmail.com. Also, do not miss to subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell icon to be aware of any new course or any new video that I am going to publish. You can connect with me at LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get yourself updated with the latest cybersecurity industry trends, documents, and various articles. You should use my unique ID, that is CybitCyber, to find and connect with me on these social media platforms. Please like the video if you find it worth spending your time here. Thank you for watching. Happy learning.